When we finish the course here in the supreme level, this will undoubtedly be the beginning of a new approach to deity, which they call transcendent and absonite. The next section in the book regards God the ultimate. And let me mention here that I do have some diagrams that list all these things in a certain order, which I'll try to show at the end of these readings, to show that there is a distinct connection between them. It might make some of these things clearer to you. Because it does get confusing when you go one after the other without showing them, at least for me, to showing on paper how they relate one to the other. So we just finished up what God's doing with the Supreme and how that is being built up by way of God the Sevenfold. Now he's going to say something else beyond, which he just mentioned in the last sentence. This is going to witness the inauguration of a new approach to deity. Just as the Supreme Being progressively evolves from the antecedent divinity endowment of the encompassed grand universe potential of energy and personality, so does God the ultimate eventuate from the potentials of divinity residing in the transcended time-space domains of the master universe. Repeat it again in order to give some thought of the reality that they're talking about here. Just as a Supreme Being progressively evolves from the antecedent divinity endowment of the encompassed grand universe potential of energy and personality. He's talking there about our universe of superspace, of the super universes. Now, the same way that he did it there, similar to that, so does God the ultimate eventuate. The first one is evolve. The God the ultimate will eventuate from the potentials of divinity residing in the transcended time-space domains of the master universe. These potentials are placed there by God from the very beginning. They have always been there eternally. And all that is being done now is they're being actualized as each area is approached by living, intelligent beings. When we finish this one, we go into the next one. The actualization of ultimate deity. When the ultimate deity here is saying begins his course, the actualization, he starts out his career on the absonite level. The actualization of ultimate deity signalizes absonite unification of the first experiential trinity. We haven't got to the experiential trinities yet. That's why I think that these graphics, these designs that I have, will be helpful at the end to show how these fit in. You have to remember that this is only a definitive guide and has to go along with an intense reading of the rest of the book. But when the ultimate deity begins his course of development, that is signalizing the unification of the first experiential trinity. The first experiential trinity is the Creator Sons, the Master Architects, and the Supreme Being. Those are the members of the first Trinity. When they come together with complete unification, then the consequence of that will be the actualization of the ultimate deity. But they'll signify then that the first unification has come to a completion. It signalizes absonite unification of the first experiential Trinity. When everything down here in time and space has become actualized, then we begin the absonite, is unified on the time-space levels in order to begin the absonite adventure, is what that part of the sentence means. And it signifies unifying deity expansion on the second level of creative self-realization. When the deity ultimate begins his career, it will show that he is now beginning the deity expansion in order to unify upon the second level, which is that of transcended time-space. While the first Trinity was doing all his unification upon the first level, which is time-space, the ultimate deity will begin his unification on transcended time-space, which also has a relation to time-space, but it is not time-space. This constitutes the personality power equivalent of the universe experiential deity actualization of paradise absonite realities on the eventuating levels of transcended time-space values. What the Supreme has done down here in time-space, the ultimate is going to be doing the same thing, power personalizing, personality power equivalent of the universe experiential deity actualization of paradise absonite realities. Down here we have finite realities in contradistinction to absonite realities. Now again, all of this is a preparation to approach absolute realities. The completion of such an experiential unfoldment is designed to afford ultimate service destiny for all time-space creatures who have attained absonite levels through the completed realization of the Supreme Being and by the ministry of God the Sevenfold. He's telling us here why this is being done. The completion of such an experiential unfoldment is designed to do what? To afford ultimate service destiny for all time-space creatures, ourselves, who have attained absonite levels through the completed realization. By sticking with the Supreme, we will be able to attain the absonite level. And we've done that through the completed realization of the Supreme Being. And this is done by the ministry of God the Sevenfold. God the Ultimate, and this is put in italics, is designative of personal deity functioning on the divinity levels of the absonite and on the universe spheres of supertime and transcended space. It's kind of important here to realize that we're talking about the cosmos, the three levels: super universes in time and space, outer space levels, transcended time and space, that go on into absolute cosmos. And he's simply showing here where God, the ultimate, where he personally functions. Remember, when we use the term God, we're referring to the personality that is possession of deity. So God the ultimate means the personal deity as he functions on the divinity level of the absonite and on the universe level of supertime and transcended space. The ultimate is a super-supreme eventuation of deity. Supreme is ourselves. The ultimate is super-supreme eventuation. While we're a supreme evolution, they are super-supreme eventuation. Those are two important terms to keep in mind. They're not the same thing. The Supreme is the Trinity unification, comprehended by finite beings. Remember, finite beings are those like ourselves. The ultimate is the unification of Paradise Trinity, comprehended by absonite beings.